Hello there, my friend. It is your good old buddy, Adam Pearson from Fortunato Chocolate. Thank you for joining me for another episode here on my YouTube channel. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to read some of the writing that I have written over the last 641 days. Pardon me, 642 days. 642 days ago, I set a writing goal to write for 1,000 days straight. When I was 38 years old, I'm 41 now. I caught the writing bug. I was writing a daily newsletter for our chocolate company, Fortunato Chocolate, which, by the way, if you like delicious chocolate, and who doesn't? It's a wide audience. If you like delicious chocolate, please check out our website, www.fortunatochocolate.com. We've been in business 16 years and we are known, we have a pretty good customer base, and we are known for having rediscovered a thought to be extinct variety of cacao in the northern Peruvian jungle. And my brother Brian lived in the jungle with cacao farmers running our cacao buying and processing operation for 10 years. I am the author of this book, Finding Fortunato, which will be coming out on June 4th. I'm a published author. Who saw that coming? I only started writing at 38. I'm 41 and now I'm a published author. So I'm pretty excited about that. If you want to check out the book, the Amazon link is down below. But what say you hear what I have to say here, and then if you think what I say here is good and worthwhile, then that'll give you a little taste to whet your beak on what might be in the book. Here's the reason why I'm filming these videos. I've been writing for 641 days. Today, I haven't written yet today. Today will be my 642nd day in a row writing in sickness and health, on vacation, 7 days a week. I sit in front of my computer and write an average of 1,000 words a day. So everything I pretty much know, which is I've been a business owner for 16 years. I built two multi-million-dollar a year businesses that each employ several dozen employees, which I'm just a schlub. I promise you, nobody thought that I would ever grow up to be a guy who could write a book or be a business owner. And it's in some of these articles. So if you stick around, you'll find out more than these stories, but more in the stories that I read about how this all could have possibly happened. I got kicked out of college my junior year for being a drunk, all right? And now things are going really well. I've been married 20 years. I got 3 kids. I got these 2 successful businesses. So everything I know about how to build businesses, how to have a good marriage, how to be a good dad, writing, how to get a book published, everything I know is in these 642 articles that I've written, or in the book, Finding Fortune. I never know which way I'm supposed to lean. In the book, Finding Fortunato. And I just don't want the stuff that I've written and sent out to only be read once. And then if you were on the list, you saw it. And then if you weren't, it just goes down the memory hole and is never read again, because these are my lessons. I mean, this is what I've learned, and this is what I have used to guide my own life. And one thing I've learned is that people with lessons, which is all of us, people with lessons, which is everybody walking on the earth of a certain age who has earned some wisdom, you have lessons that one way or another are going to regenerate society and culture, because each new generation, and I think this is one of the great failings and misunderstandings of our age, is an assumption that the lessons of the past will automatically transmit themselves to future generations. And now that I have kids, I can see that that is not true. And furthermore, when you go to the gym, right, and you get in shape, if you stop going to the gym, you will fall out of shape. So also, you have to keep relearning the lessons, and you have to keep rejuvenating the lessons that guide your life in order to continue to live the kind of life that you want to be able to live. And so, hey, we all have to do our part. These videos are just me laying my brick on the foundation of community and society and culture, because it's what I got. All right. And obviously, if you don't think that what I have written here is worthwhile, then no hard feelings. I'm sure that you'll be able to find somebody else who scratches that itch. But hey, if you like me, why not give me a like and maybe subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when new content's coming out? And why not maybe check out the book, or test and see if I'm a genuine and authentic person. Test the chocolate. Let the chocolate speak to the type of person that I am, and the type of people that our family is, and me and my brother and my dad are as business owners. All right. So all that being said, I'm going to now transition into reading one of my articles. I'm reading it rather than trying to summarize the lesson, because I find, as a guy who's really into writing, that I communicate in a much, at least in my own opinion, I feel that I communicate in a better way in the written word. And what I want to say is better said by reading an article rather than trying to speak off the top of my head to you. So, oh, one last thing, right when I was about to get into it, one last thing. My dad always does that. My dad doesn't like me to say his age publicly, but I'll say it. My dad's an 84-year-old man, and he always says, "Hey, but one more thing." He didn't do it when he was younger, but he's doing a lot more now. But maybe I'm doing a lot more now too. So I probably shouldn't be so quick to judge. Okay, that was a tangent. If you like this article and you would like to subscribe to our email list, it's at fortunatochocolate.com, which is in the description, and then at the bottom of the homepage, you can subscribe to the email list. And we have a pretty decent amount of people who get that email from us on a daily basis. All right, or rather, get that email from me on a daily basis. Okay, so without further ado, here is an article that I think I wrote about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't reread it, but I kind of remember writing it, and I think it is one that I liked particularly at the time. So here we go. Here is a fun and uplifting exercise. When you go through your day, intentionally pay attention to which parts are the best. Which moments really touch your heart and make you happy to be alive? I've done a fair amount of reading on the formation of habits and routines. And if I've understood correctly, habits are a way for your brain to save on energy. When you do the same activities over and over again, neural pathways form in your brain. The electrical transmissions between neurons that stimulate action. I'm going to start the sentence over. I should have had a comment here, but I don't have one. The electrical transmissions between neurons that stimulate action flow through the established grooves and cause you to act. When the grooves are deep and wide from long stretches of repetition, did I say repetition? I'm going to say this one again. When the grooves are deep and wide from long stretches of repetition, you find yourself acting almost on autopilot. Just quickly, now you can see why I like to write rather than saying this stuff into a video. I'm messing up the pronunciation of all of these words. All right, I'm gonna say this sentence one more time. When the grooves are deep and wide from long stretch, thank you for bearing with me. When the grooves are deep and wide from long stretches of repetition, you find yourself acting almost on autopilot. Doing something new means that your body has to work on creating new grooves, which results in an additional expenditure of energy. And our bodies are hardwired to fight the urge towards unnecessary wastes of energy. I'm going to have to do this one again too. Doing something new means that your body has to work on creating new grooves, which results in an additional expenditure of energy. And our bodies are hardwired to fight the urge towards unnecessary wastes of energy. As a writer, as a writing geek, I probably would, if I had to go back and do it again, I'd probably revise that sentence. But thank you for not leaving while I read that same sentence 4 times. Thank you for bearing it out with me. All right, back to the article. This is why forming new habits is so hard. Your body is fighting you on it. This is also why forming good habits is so crucial. Much of the self-help and success literature is centered around habit formation. If you've got good habits, you will produce good results automatically and almost unconsciously. On the other hand, bad habits give you bad results, and you may not even be fully cognizant as to why things are turning out so poorly. I mention all of this as a precursor to what I'd really like to talk about. Even if you have good habits, our natural cognitive tendency is to go about our day in the most energy efficient way possible. And this means not really paying attention to what we're doing, but rather just doing what we're wired to do. To stop and smell the roses, as they say, is not as easy as it sounds. We see the roses out there in front of the dentist's office, but our to-do list says to go to the dentist, not smell roses. And our habit is to do what is on the list, which is a good habit, but it means that we tend to walk right by the roses. I am as guilty of this as anybody. Too many good things pass me by unnoticed. But yesterday, I woke up with a mission. My mission was to stop and notice as many good things as I could, register them, remember them, and appreciate them. The result of this experiment was that I had one of my best days ever, even though nothing big or very out of the ordinary happened. I know that I won't have enough space to list very much, but here is just a smattering of what I observed. Cats yearn for attention the same way little kids do. I'm going to say it again. Cats yearn for attention the same way little kids do. I'm noticing that when you're reading, if you botch a sentence, then it kind of messes up your entire rhythm and flow. And then you got to reread the sentence to get it right so they can get back into the flow. I'm learning as I go along here. Cats yearn for attention the same way little kids do. We have outdoor cats, and I am fond of them. We used to keep chickens in our backyard, and chicken feed attracted rats and mice. We bought the cats to regulate the rodent population. There are two of them, and they are brothers, and we've had them for going on 5 years. In the morning, when I come down from bed, they scratch at the back door window. Also, when you're reading like this, you end up kind of acting out what you're reading, which is pretty interesting because I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just happening. In the morning, when I come down from bed, they scratch at the back door window. I've always written it off as them being hungry. I go out to our shed in the dark and the cold and sometimes in the rain and scoop them a bowl full of food from a big bin in the shed. Then I come back inside and I begin to write. But yesterday, I paid closer attention. I poured their food into their metal bowls and came back inside. The screeching sound of cat nails on glass continued, and I saw that they were still out there scratching, which I thought was strange. I wondered why. So I went back out and saw that they weren't even interested in the food that I had just served them. I stood outside, and the two little guys began to swirl back and forth, rubbing their heads and bodies against my legs. All this time, what they've really been wanting was for me to stand out there for a few minutes so they could rub against me. They just wanted some attention. Well, I'll be darned. I stood in the dark and saw that the moon was still out, even though it was morning. The sky was lightly cloudy, and the wind blew thin, wispy clouds across the face of the moon. And I could see the outlines of the clouds as they crossed through the moonlight. The cold of the morning went into my skin and into my lungs, and I felt the pressure of little animal heads pressing against my feet and legs. This is a great way to start a morning. I've been missing out. As a general rule of life, little kids will light you up. And the good news is that there are plenty of little kids all over the place for you to take a ganders at. I've got 3 living in my house. Because life is busy, I normally default into our morning routine when they wake up. I start getting them ready for the day and feeding them and hurrying them along, etc. But yesterday, I took a few minutes to just sit on the couch and watch them. They are hilarious. A very charming thing that little kids do is tell you their entire plan for the day with wonderful enthusiasm. I heard everybody's plans, and then my middle son pretended to be an old monkey who doesn't move so well. He did that for several minutes, and I laughed my butt off. And then many cuties came into our chocolate shop throughout the day. All of them were bundled up with their noses and cheeks red from the cold. A little boy who didn't speak yet had learned to communicate using hand signals. His mother gave him a little piece of chocolate. He rubbed his fingers together, and then she gave him another. I asked her what the hand signal meant, and she said I'm a smart boy, I said. He's too smart, said the mother. After a long day of work, I'm going to start this over. He's too smart, said the mother. See, I got to get the rhythm again. He's too smart, said the mother. After a very long day at work, I ran into a family of chocolate shop customers in the grocery store on my way home. They have a little girl, and she was sitting in a shopping cart eating an apple. The apple was far too big for her, and it barely fit in her little hand. But she was ravenous and making progress on the apple, even though her mouth almost wasn't big enough to fit around the surface so that she could take a bite. A little girl eating a big apple. I promise you that there is no 2-minute stretch of content anywhere on Netflix, YouTube, or all of social media more pleasing to watch than seeing a little girl live and in person, lost in the moment, fully enraptured by the task of eating an apple that is far too big for her. That's better than this video by like 5 million times, I promise. I shouldn't say that about myself, but a little girl sitting in a grocery store cart eating an apple that's way too big for her is one of the cutest things you'll ever see in your entire life. All right, I digress. Back to the article. Most of us will walk right by these moments, eager to pay and finish and check out and move on to the next thing. Anyhow, I'm already running long for now, so I can't transcribe the crazy conversation I heard between two young clerks in the checkout line. I normally wouldn't listen in, and I'd have no desire to because I'd be in a hurry, but yesterday was a day for paying close attention. The conversation ended with the cashier saying to the bag boy, "Well, maybe I will put a chicken's leg in my mop bucket at home, just for good luck." It made me laugh hard, and I laughed so hard that I could not stop laughing. The two fellows who were talking saw me laughing, and they started to laugh too. Now the three of us were laughing uncontrollably in an otherwise quiet and tame grocery store. I haven't laughed that long and that hard in a really long time. I had forgotten how good a real, hard belly laugh between friends is. Anyhow, this is a very tiny snapshot of all the good stuff that I saw yesterday. I forced myself out of habit mode and had my best day in a long time. It takes some effort, but it is worth it. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope that you have a truly blessed day. That's it for me. I'm signing off. If you liked it, please hit like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.